You have ideas, but are they making an impact or an income? Let's fix that. If your ideas are not getting results, chances are it's not actually your idea, it's your process. And by the end of this video, I want to show you exactly how to turn that idea that you have, that God-given idea, into real impact and real income. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ebby Faith, and I'm a full-time Christian mentor, coach, and podcast host, helping women break out of fear, break out of insecurity, and turn these ideas into real impact and real income. So if that is you, make sure you stay for this whole video, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So let's talk about how to turn that idea that you have into real income and real impact. No matter what that idea is, if God is giving you something, if He is nudging you towards something, if He is downloading a vision into your heart and you want to act on it, but you just don't know how exactly to take those steps, you don't know where to begin, you don't know how you're going to complete this vision that God has given you. If that is you, I am so glad you clicked on this video because we are going to talk about exactly that. Step one in turning that idea into real impact and real income is going to be probably one of the most important aspects of starting to build anything. And that is to get clear on who you are serving, right? Who is it that God is calling you to serve? Who can you help and how can you help them? This idea that He's given you, I want you to write down exactly who it is that you are talking to, right? Get real specific. So for me, I define the ideal person I am talking to very specifically, right? What is their age range? Is it for females? Is it for males? Is it for anyone? Is it for couples? Who is it that God is calling you to serve and to speak to? Because when you show up, right? When you create content, you want to create it for that specific person. Now, I know sometimes it can feel like I don't want to niche down too much, right? I don't want to get too specific because I want to keep it more broad. But if you are talking to everyone, you are talking to no one, right? If you are not clear on who you're talking to, it's going to be hard for your audience to understand what it is that you're even saying to them, or they're going to feel like they're not connected to you because you're not really speaking to them. So get clear on who you are called to serve. You need to start understanding what it is that the person that you are called to serve, what is it that they want, right? What is the outcome they are trying to fulfill? Not what you think they want, not what you want. What is it that the person that you are called to serve, what is it that they want? What is it that they need from you? How do they need you to show up, right? That is what you're going to get very specific on in defining who it is that you are called to serve. This is something I 100% suggest you pray on if you are not clear. Because once you get clear on this, it becomes so much easier to do the rest of the process. So for me, this is a point that I skipped early on when I started my business. I was not clear on who I was speaking to. I was not clear on who I wanted to serve, how I could serve. I just had a general idea and I just threw out content, threw out products, none of which were successful at all because I was not clear. And if I'm not clear, how is your audience going to be clear on what you can do for them or how you can help them, right? So get real clear, get real specific. So I want you to take some time to write down who it is you're speaking to. And like I said, get real specific. Age ranges, gender, what it is they're dealing with, right? How it is you can help them. What are some things that they struggle with? Get real specific on who you are speaking to, and the rest becomes so much easier. Now, the next step after you have gotten clear on who it is you're talking to, now you need to get clear on the problem that you can solve for them. Something that's really important to understand is people pay for solutions, not ideas. So they don't need you to sell them new ideas. They need you to provide them some type of solution to the problem that they are having. So if you are clear on who you're serving, then you start to understand what it is, the problems that they're having. So you need to identify your skills, your knowledge. What is it that you're knowledgeable on? What is it that you have gone through? What story do you have that you can now help someone else grow through, right? A lot of times the person that you are serving, the person that you are selling to, I always say to look back at the journey that you've been on, right? What are some things that you might have struggled with in the past that took you a while to get through and to grow through that you can now help someone grow through a lot quicker, right? You can help someone else avoid the mistakes that you've made. Think back on some of those things. A lot of times that's going to be where you start. So for example, for me and for my brand, right, I am someone that struggled with confidence, with identity, super introverted, super shy. I felt like I was being called into things, but I was too fearful and too insecure to step into it. That is all stuff that I went through for majority of my life. to where now I'm at a point where I have grown through this and I understand my identity in Christ, right? I understand who I'm called to serve. And now I can help someone who is struggling with those same things, struggling with those fears, struggling with having those ideas, but not knowing where to start. Now I can look back and say, you know what? I learned a lot of things along the way that took me a while, but I can help you get from point A to point B a whole lot faster than I did, right? So now that I look back on some of the things that I had to grow through, I can now help someone else who is sitting where I was 5 years ago. I can help them get from point A to point B a whole lot faster. So really get clear on what problems you can solve, right? What experiences you have, what knowledge you have, what skills you have that you can now share and serve someone else with. If your audience struggles with identity, with lack of confidence, right? How can you help them solve that problem? If your audience struggles with eating or with not being able to be consistent in their workouts, how can you solve this problem for them? That is what I want you to identify. So get clear on who exactly you're talking to and get real clear on the problem that you can solve for them. Now, the next step to turning that idea into real impact and real income is to provide value constantly. A lot of times when we are starting in our business, right, and we're starting content and we're starting to create products, right, a lot of times we want to just shove everything we have down people's throats. We want to sell, sell, sell. And we need to truly focus on serving. I spent too many years focused on selling and it did not work, right? When I started to get real clear, okay, God, who are you calling me to serve and how can I honestly help them? Whether I get a sell or not, I want to make sure I am showing up and serving who God has called me to serve to the best of my ability. And I'm going to constantly be serving through free content, YouTube, podcast, right? Instagram, TikTok. Those are all platforms that you can use to show up consistently and serve your community, right? Provide free information, educate them, help them. You are trying to help your desired audience, right? Who you are called to serve. If you are just showing up to sell and everyone can tell that every post you post is just to promote a product, it's not going to last long. It's not going to go over well, right? People want to feel like they're connected to you. They want to know you. They want to feel like you're speaking directly to them and you are helping them. You want to position yourself as a resource, not just a seller, because the goal is to become their go-to expert, right? To where if they are struggling with something, they know that they can look at your content, they can go to your YouTube channel, and you're going to help them solve that problem. That is how you want to position yourself. That is what works long-term. That is how you create real impact and income and not just trying to figure out ways to generate income, right? I am not the person that you come to if you want to just figure out how to make money quick, right? A get rich quick scheme. I am the person you come to if you want to figure out how to build a true God-led business that's sustainable, that's fulfilling, that's serving someone, that's creating real impact. So how are you positioning yourself? Are you someone that just sells to them constantly, or are you someone that they can come to when they really need to learn something, when they really are struggling with something? That is how you want to position yourself. You want to provide free information, free content consistently. You want to show up and serve consistently. So you've identified who you're speaking to. You've identified the problem you can solve. Now you're creating free content and you're positioning yourself as their go-to expert. Now, the next part of that is to steward the community, right? So as you're growing, as you're creating this content, it's so important to truly steward over it. You don't want to just build a community and just forget about them. They can't reach out to you. They can't communicate with you. It's almost like you're not a real person, right? You're just throwing out content and moving along. You want to be able to answer some DMs, right? Set up some free calls to chat with people and see what they're really struggling with, right? Host a live Bible study, host a live group call. You want to have some type of way that you can steward your community. That can look like, for me, I have a free Kingdom Glow Circle, which is a free community for women where we can just share encouragement. We host live Bible studies. That is a way to stay engaged with the community. I also have free one-on-one coaching calls, free 15-minute calls to just understand what it is that my audience is struggling with and how I can help serve them better, right? You want to have ways to truly steward over the community that God is giving you. If you are just constantly focused on more and more and more and money generation, It is going to be a long process for you. Trust me on that. You need to shift your focus to truly serving, truly understanding your community, truly understanding what it is that they need help with. You want to be sure you are truly building trust with your audience. They need to be able to trust you in order to buy anything from you, right? They need to be able to trust you in order to continue following your platforms. You need to be trustworthy. And then the last and final step, people are going to flock to you. If you do step 1 through 4 consistently, people will flock to you. They're gonna come across your content and they're gonna feel like you are speaking directly to them. The more clear you get on who you're talking to, they're gonna feel like, whoa, you're in my head. There's been so many times I've come across content where I'm like, whoa, you're speaking directly to me. And I end up following them, I end up purchasing from them. Those are coaches that I continue to follow and to invest in because I understand that you're talking to me. I understand and I can trust that you understand what I'm going through, that you understand what I needed at that time, right? And that's the same thing that you need to do for your audience. If you can post content to where they're in the comments like, wow, you're speaking directly to me. Wow, I needed this today. All of those comments are confirmation that you're getting clear on your messaging, that you're showing up and serving the audience that you were supposed to be serving. So as you get clear on who you're talking to, how you can serve them, you're showing up consistently, providing free value and stewarding your community, that is when everything starts to become so easy for you, right? When you're not even thinking about the business aspect, not even thinking about the money aspect, that's when things start to flow because you're showing up consistently and you're serving your community, serving who God has entrusted you to serve. Once you get to that point, it becomes easy to have free products for opt-ins. It becomes easy to have courses or products that you're launching because people trust you, right? And they know that you can help them solve the problems that they're having. And that's when it becomes an income generating machine, right? When you walk in that obedience, when you show up and serve the way that you're supposed to, that is when the income will flow. That is when God will bless your operation. So those are the 5 steps to be able to turn the idea that you have into true impact and true income. So if you need to go back through, write some of these things down, I suggest you do that. If you need to take a moment to get real clear on who it is you're talking to and how you can serve them, do that. And if you need help with that, feel free to book my one-on-one free coaching session where I can help you identify who it is that you're speaking to and get real clear on how you can help them solve their problems. So if you need help with that, feel free to book the one-on-one coaching call. I'll have them up there for a little bit longer, so make sure you book your slot and we can get real clear on how you can turn these ideas into real impact and into real income. So if you have an idea that you need to turn into impact and income, I want you to drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's see how I can help you get clear on it. And let's see how God can begin to move through you to help serve other people. But I truly hope that this helped you today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out all the resources that I have below and I will see y'all next week. Bye.